So next we have the much older guy. And I included this one because I think it's more typical for girls to date older guys. Because we tend to mature at a faster rate than guys mentally and also physically. Mm-hmm. And some girls prefer dating older guys because they feel that they could be better taken care of. Or some girls, like me, have daddy issues and are more inclined to date much older guys because of the lack of a paternal fatherly figure from childhood. And I think like being forced to become independent and mature at such a young age, we unconsciously become attracted to men who make us feel secure and protected and spoiled like a little girl because we never experienced that. So we'll have Linda share her experience with a much older guy and a much younger guy as well. So she's dated both ends of the spectrum, and she'll be sharing with us the differences she noticed. And I think it'll be very interesting. Take it away.
So my older guy, he was 7 years older, and that was like the oldest guy I've dated at that point. I was also very young. I was like 19, 20. I was about to turn 20 or something like that. And we met online. He was from the UK. So it was like very attractive, like his voice and like it was funny like in the first couple times I couldn't understand him. He was talking, but I was like, I don't know what you're saying.
Like, I don't care what you're saying, just keep talking.
Yeah. But he was like very attentive. He was very much like he was 27 at this time. So he was like
and
ready
you were
to
19.
settle down. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
It was like totally opposite. And he was like, I want you to move over here. Like, I want you to live with me. Like, I'll take care of you if you come over here. And I was like, it seemed really appealing, but I was 19. So I was like, oh, heck no. Like, I'm not leaving the U.S. and like leaving my family. So it was very, like, we were just in different parts of our life. But he was never, like, he never gave me money. He never, like, spoiled me. I was really attracted to how secure he was. Like, I got you. Like, whatever you need, I got you. It's like how I felt. So, and then the much younger guy, it was weird because I never felt like the older guy. When we talked, I didn't feel like he was older. I felt like we were like not the same age, but I didn't feel like he was like 40. You know, he was like, the age difference didn't matter to me. But a lot of people were like, oh yeah, you shouldn't date somebody that old. And I'm like, I'm 19. I'm legal. So that was interesting that people would like not judge me, but like kind of look at me sideways, you know?
That's only 7 years.
That's what I said. I was like, it would be different if I was like 16 or like younger. I'm like,
I know.
I mean, it makes
yeah. I think like it wasn't like you were 20 dating a 8-year-old, like all types of things coming out in 2020, right? So I am curious to see, like, did you feel like you were a lot better taken care of, and that because he was older and that he had more experience with relationships, did you feel like he kind of taught you about how to love and what dating, or I mean like mature dating looks like?
I don't feel like it. I also, maybe I didn't take it that seriously because I was 19. Like, I was like, oh, like I just got out of a 2-year relationship. I was like ready to like see the world. I just moved like a year before, so I was like kind of getting used to where I was living. And then we also met like on Facebook, so it was like I wasn't really looking for anything, but it just kind of happened. So I was like, okay, we'll see. We met on Facebook, and then he flew to see me. He like came to America.
Wow.
Because he's from the UK. So I was like, okay. He stayed for like 2 weeks, and I was like, it was really crazy, you know, like being with this person. And like, you know, it's different when you're online and long distance.
Yeah.
So I don't think he taught me like how to love, but I think he really showed me like what I like. He really wanted a kid, and I was like, I'm not ready for that at 19. I was like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids right now.
27 is early for a guy too.
Yeah, I was like, don't you want to like, you know, have fun for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
and he was like ready. Like we broke up and he had a kid like 6 months later. So
Oh my
God!
gosh.
Ready. Like he was.
Aren't you glad that wasn't you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah.
You weren't kidding. He was ready. Wow.
Yeah, he was ready. So I mean, like I think that kind of showed me like, oh, I'm not really ready to have like a family. So let's hold off a little bit. But I think that's what I learned out of that relationship for sure.
Yeah. Now, what about the much younger guy? You said he's 7 years older, right?
Yeah, the older one was 7 years older.
7 years younger, yeah.
He was 3 years younger, but I met him when I was 22, so he was 19 when I met him.
I feel like that could feel like 7-year difference.
It felt so. It was so funny. I met him and I was like, "Oh, how old are you?" He was like 19. I was like, "Oh, baby, you can't even buy me a beer. Like, we can't have a conversation."
Infant.
Yeah, I was like, "No." But he looks really old. Like even back then when he was 19, he looked like he was like 25. So I was like, "Ooh, you look old."
Okay. So being with him like wouldn't make you feel like conscious about your age because you guys look like peers.
Yeah, we did. It's funny because like some people, every time I show people our pictures, they're like, "Oh, how old is he? Like, how much older is he?" And I'm like, "He's younger than me." And they're like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." But it was really funny because like I would never think about being with a younger guy, and I was like, "Okay, fine. Like, let's give this guy a chance." But it was very interesting dating a younger guy.
So were there like arguments over his immaturity level, and because guys just mature mentally slower than girls, like were there like, did it cause a lot of conflicts because you guys weren't at the same place mentally?
Well, so I dated him when he was 25. So I met him at 19, and then like we were friendly, like we would see each other, but we never dated. And then we met up again when he was 25 and I was 28, and then at that point he was already mature enough for me to like, okay, let me actually give you a real chance.
Wow.
So it never like, I never saw the immature part of him. Like maybe he's very playful, so maybe that was the only thing that like we would like wrestle, which is weird. I've never like wrestled with a guy.
Can you do?
He was really fun that way. Like he's very youthful. Like we would always go swimming, and like, you know, when you like go swimming, you're like on a diving board, he'll like do a cannonball, and I'm like, I would never do that because I'm not a good swimmer. But you know, he was very fun, and the idea that
a young heart,
the youth, youthfulness in me.
Yeah, I mean that's good to hear because I mean some guys could be in their 40s and still be very immature, but it sounds like this guy was definitely on the same page with you mentally. So like, to sum it up, in your experience, you didn't really feel like dating a much older guy was much different than dating a younger guy. It totally depends on the person itself.
Right. I think the stigma of like dating an older guy or dating a younger guy was never really like, I don't really hold anybody, like you can't help how old you are, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you can help how immature you are, but like you really can't be like, oh well, you're too young for me. But like, because being young doesn't always mean you're immature. Being old doesn't always mean you're mature too. So it goes both ways.
Great, that's good to hear. Because I think I'm definitely one of those people who like have judgments against like guys that are younger than me. But yeah, I totally understand. Like he could be young, but try his best to get to where you are. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that.